What? A surprise review? This thing be dropping like Donda was supposed to. Tenet is a movie starring a few people I don't know, and the next Batman. But none of that's important, because it's the new Christopher Nolan movie, okay? I'm back in a white polo, doing a movie review. Truly getting in touch with my roots. Never mind the fact that I'm getting paler by the video. That's right, I had the fortune to go see a film in cinemas for the first time in 6 months. And was it always this loud? Like early on in the movie, there's this really well-made action scene, which tends to be a common theme in this movie. And some bullets fly in hallways, and it really sounded like someone was firing a pistol off right next to me. Okay, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it was loud, okay? That's my point. But as the movie went on, like each gunshot became slightly quieter. I feel like I may have just been losing my hearing though, to be honest. I mean, the loud noises in Christopher Nolan movies tend to be fairly common, from Inception with the but this really felt next level. Speaking of Inception, I thought this movie would be, my greatest fear was that this movie would be even harder to understand than Inception, which was amplified by the fact that when the trailers came out, I was just sitting there watching the trailer intently thinking, I have no idea what is going on. And after the opening action sequence, the following 15 minutes, I was just sitting there thinking, oh no, it's bad. Everything was happening so quick, scenes didn't really have time to breathe. It felt like an information overload, but you didn't really understand any of it. Luckily, as far as I can tell, that was all intentional. As it turns out, Christopher Nolan just did a really good job writing it as if you were the main character. And as the story eases on into the second act, you really tend to understand what's going on a lot better. That being said, there were some bits that I think definitely you'd need to watch a few times, or go back to understand, like some scenes as they explore the super gimmick throughout the movie more and more. I'm really trying to be vague here on purpose, the super gimmick. Anyway, as they explain it more and more throughout the movie, you get a better sense for what's going on. There are a few scenes that I think anyone would have to watch multiple times to fully get, so maybe I'll go watch it a second time in the kino, but we'll see. But you could definitely follow the narrative as it was going on. Like, you understood enough to say, okay, yeah, this makes sense. I'm getting it. I think. Hopefully, I'm getting it. I don't know. One of the bigger flaws in the movie is that there was this particular character that you had to really feel for. All emotional stake was really lying on this character, and it took me a while for me to really get behind her cause. I mean, she just seemed a bit melodramatic at some points, but you could definitely understand where she was coming from. I just wanted to get back to the more time reversal, epic super gimmick stuff. Which the gimmick in this movie, with like the time reversal, I don't really want to get into it in a spoiler. The time reversal is particularly in the end of the second act, and then the big final showdown in the third act. It was just done so well. There's this whole chunk towards the end of the second act that just felt a concept so original, being handled by, I would say, one of the top 3 living directors. And the acting in this movie was really down pat as well. I mean, a personal favorite of mine is Robert Pattinson, who, kind of became famous as the Twilight guy, where he did a really shit job. But he's recently proved that he can act, and this movie's no different. And the person who played the protagonist, which I checked for names, but on IMDb he's genuinely just listed as the protagonist. So artsy, man. I haven't seen that since the Lars von Trier movie. So anyway, John David Washington does a really good job with all the one-liners and makes protagonist a really likable character. However, the most important performances in the movie come from Elizabeth Debicki and Kenneth Branagh. I doubt I got those names right. In those two characters, the emotional stake of the movie comes out. Without them, the movie would have felt flat, and they both nailed their performances, so the movie didn't feel flat. And there were parts of this movie that felt like James Bond, from the clothes, which, by the way, I want protagonist's wardrobe really badly, to the fact that this movie a big part of this movie takes place on a boat, somewhere on the ocean in Spain. It felt a lot like James Bond, and that's why on Wikipedia it is described as a spy movie. I don't know. I think this deserves its own category as Christopher Nolan epic gimmick movie, right next to Inception. And as the movie went on, they spent a lot of time where they don't really explore the concept, and that kind of disappointed me. And to be honest, the first act of this movie, it really kind of disappointed me, but the second act really brought it home. The whole action sequence towards the end of the second act was very epic. By the end, even little details that would have had almost no importance get more or less resolved using this gimmick, and it just makes the movie so clever. Christopher Nolan really does prove himself again. One of the few movies I was looking forward to this year, and it didn't disappoint. Big Christopher Nolan fan. I mean, you have one of the best directors coming up with, once again, a really visionary and wholly original idea, being able to turn it into a well-crafted script, and more importantly, use this gimmick, this original idea, to make some of the best action scenes I've seen in a long time. Thank you all for watching me ramble about Tenet for a few minutes. This is the second video I've uploaded all year. My channel is practically a ghost town, but I have the Easy video coming soon, so stay tuned. Thanks.